Hello guys, I hope wherever you're watching us from, you're having a great time. This is AfriPost and welcome to today's video.
7th of October was not the beginning of history. We have been suffering from ethnic cleansing since 76 years, since 1948, when Israel committed the first Nakba, and it is now committing the second Nakba. 57 years of military Israeli occupation, the longest in modern history, and the worst system of apartheid. I used to say apartheid in Palestine was like apartheid in South Africa, but you, the South African friends and comrades, told me when you came to Palestine, no, this is a much worse apartheid than what prevailed in South Africa. That is the reality of today. And we all remember, Israelis don't understand why South Africa is with us. They forgot that when they were supporting the apartheid system here, doing nuclear experiments with the apartheid regime here, when the prime minister of the apartheid system said in 1963, Israel is like South Africa, is also an apartheid state. They forgot that. They forgot that while they were supporting apartheid here in South Africa, our revolutionaries in the Palestinian Revolution were supporting the fighters of the ANC for the freedom of South Africa. And I want here to say, I came here, my friends and comrades and colleagues, to thank you, to thank South Africa, to thank the ANC, to thank Comrade Naledi Pandor, because you are now, I want you to know, Mrs. Foreign Minister, I want you to know that you are now the hero of the Palestinian people. You are the hero of the Palestinian people. You are the hero of the Palestinian people. Because you dared to do what others should have done and they didn't dare to do. Because you were not afraid of the Zionist movement, and you were not afraid of the United States of America and of all those who were pressuring you not to do what you have done by taking these criminals to the International Court of Justice. What is wrong with asking for the application of international law? What is wrong for asking to facilitate the most important justice court in our world? That's what you have done heroically, but that's what so many others did not dare to do. And we, the Palestinians, will remember that forever. We remember your heroism. We will remember how you stood with us. We will remember how you stood up to American and Western pressure. And we will remember how you did justify and show, how you have shown what Nelson Mandela said, that South Africa will not be completely free till Palestine is free. I know today that they are gathering forces against ANC and against what you have done, and that's why allow me today, on behalf of the Palestinian people, on behalf of the people in Gaza, on behalf of all people in the world who are struggling for freedom and justice, to ask you to vote for the ANC. When you support ANC and all those who are supporting Palestine in the next elections, you are supporting us, Palestinians. Remember this, when you support ANC, you are supporting our struggle against this terrible injustice. I thank you so much. I don't want to take much more of your time. I know the time is limited, but let's say today, one last time, thank you, South Africa. Thank you, South Africa. Thank you, ANC. Thank you, Naledi Pandor. And free, free Palestine. 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 I just came today from Palestine, carrying in my heart and in my mind the story of Gaza and the suffering of the people, the story of Palestine, about which Nelson Mandela said before anybody else that it is the most important moral issue of our time. Palestine is suffering today from the most terrible atrocity. 3 war crimes are taking place at the same time in parallel. The war crime of genocide, the war crime of ethnic cleansing, the war crime of collective punishment. And the results are shocking. 37,000 people killed so far, including those who are under the rubble that nobody can get to. 73,000 injured people. 700,000 people at this time are suffering from starvation in the north of Gaza. 1 million people are now sick of different diseases because of the siege, lack of water, lack of food. Israel is killing us with bombardment, with starvation, and also with diseases. They have thrown on us American bombs, the largest air bridge ever organized in the Middle East for Israel by the United States of America. 70,000 tons of explosives thrown on that little place that is Gaza, which is not larger than 140 square miles. 70,000 tons of explosives. That is more than double both nuclear bombs thrown on Nagasaki and Hiroshima during the Second World War. It is 30 kilograms of explosives for each man, woman, and child in Gaza. Today is the International Women's Day, and I congratulate all women here on this day. But on this day, 50,000 pregnant women in Gaza cannot find a safe place to give birth in. 64,000 breastfeeding women cannot feed their babies because they are hungry. They don't have food. 350,000 girls and women are starving now in the north of Gaza because of this terrible Israeli crime. My heart, I told my colleagues today, my heart broke when I watched a little child in Gaza who is one of 1,000 children who lost their limbs up till now, asking his father, the 5-year-old baby asks his father, he lost both hands, and he was asking his father, will my hands grow up again when I grow up? That is the suffering of thousands of children, 17,000 orphans up till now in Gaza because of this terrible Israeli crime.
I begin in the name of the Almighty, the most gracious, the most merciful. Takbir! Repeat after me. Birruh, biddam, nafdika ya Palestine. Our blood, our soul, for you, O Palestine. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. Palestine will never die. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oppression no more. 5, 6, 7, 8. Israel is an apartheid state. Viva ANC, viva. Viva Palestine, viva. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I greet you with the international great greeting of peace. Good evening to one and all. It is an honor, a privilege and pleasure as the Ward Councillor of Ward 61 in Tshwane to extend a warm welcome on behalf of the South African Friends of Palestine, the Pretoria Muslim Women's United, and most importantly, the African National Congress tonight. The hospitality and generosity of this community of Ward 61, which is well known throughout the world, is extended to you today. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, I ask you a question. What does it mean to stand with the people of Palestine? As we sit here today, are we truly in full solidarity with the people of Palestine? Being in solidarity with the people of Palestine is more than just showing up at a march, waving a flag, more than just doing lip service and posting your solidarity on social media. You cannot come here and say you stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine, but you continue to purchase products from companies and organizations that support the destruction and mass murder of Palestinians. It cannot be that we say we stand with the oppressed, and the first thing we do when we take to the polls in May is to vote for the DA or Action SA or any other political party that facilitates the Zionist Israel apartheid regime. It cannot be that we say we stand with in solidarity with the oppressed, then we support a political party like the DA that objected to the downgrading of the Israeli embassy in 2018. It cannot be that we support political parties like Action SA, Democratic Alliance, IFP, that wasted no time in condemning Hamas for the October 7 bombings, but to date have failed in condemning Israel for the ongoing genocide against the Palestinian people. And yet, they say, we are with the people of Palestine. It is these political parties that condemn the ANC and other freedom-loving parties when they voted to shut down the Israeli embassy in South Africa. Some members of the DA and Action SA, I say some Muslim members of the Action SA and the DA claim to support the oppressed people of Palestine. I challenge them, arrange one national protest in favor of Palestine or publicly condemn your political party's stance instead of doing this, they would rather attend a march in favor of Palestine just for a photo shoot to promote themselves and get votes for the very same political parties that supports the genocide against Palestinians. Their mere marching is not enough to prove their sincerity in support of Palestinian people. We need to decide if we are on the side of the oppressed or we are on the side of mass murderers. It is very easy, this one. It is not only an issue of religion, but it is an issue of human rights and human lives. It is quite clear that should the alliance of the Moonshot Pact, the DA and Action SA and his parties come into power in May and a new government formed after 2024 elections, there will be a 100% reversal of our current foreign policy towards Palestine. They will support the war on terror in its different forms and increase Islamophobia. Let me demonstrate to you the hypocrisy of the DA and its alliance partners like Action SA, Patriotic Alliance, etc. DA leader Johan Steenhuisen went to Ukraine and condemned Russia in the strongest words, but when it came to Palestine, silence. They lit up Table Mountain with the colors of the Ukrainian flag, but did they do the same for Palestine? No. The DA fired one of its most senior members, Ghalib Kachalia. His only crime was standing up for the people of Palestine. In 2012, the DA controversially gave the freedom of the city of Cape Town to former US President Barack Obama, who supported Israel. A similar proposal was made by the ANC and solidarity movements to give the freedom of Cape Town to the city of Cape Town to Leila Khalid. It was outrightly rejected by the DA. Action SA leader in the Eastern Cape, Ethel Trollop, made it very clear that they are not proud of the South African government's action to take Israel to the ICJ because the ANC did not ask their permission to go to the ICJ. continually to show the hypocrisy of this moonshot pact. Let's move closer to home, in our own area. Many of you might not know, the DA objected to the community building a masjid, a mosque in Valhalla. It was the ANC mayor, Josienso Ramakgopa, that gave the Muslim community free land in Valhalla to build a masjid. The same minister, Josienso Ramakgopa, gave the Tamil community a temple in Brown Street. A few months ago, the DA and Action SA coalition in Gauteng, in Tshwane, gave notice to the Pretoria Muslim Trust Burial Committee to close the Ghusl Khana in Bengal Street. Even in the days of apartheid, our religious institutes were not attacked. They wanted to close, or they've given instruction to have it closed. Even it was the ANC once again that stepped in to assist the community and make sure the Ghusl Khana is not closed down. 3 Islamic schools, of which Mr. Manzoor is the principal of one of them, were cited for non-compliance, and they were refused health certificates by the DA in this community. It is the ANC once again that stepped in to assist these 3 schools. Just a few weeks ago, our own Mufti Akbar Hazarwi, principal of Darul Uloom Pretoria, was fined for carrying out Muslim rituals at the Darul Uloom. Once again, it was the ANC that stepped in and sorted out this matter. So it will be a shame on you, as freedom-loving South Africans, as members of this community, if in the next elections you vote for the DA or Action SA or any other political party that stands with Israel. The ANC, we agree, has its own challenges, and we cannot hide against acts of corruption, the high crime rate, load shedding, but this does not affect my religion or the freedom to practice it. It might be temporarily affect my well-being, but to support oppression and genocide affects our souls. Many opposition parties question, where are the Muslims today in the ANC? To this I say, the Muslims are in the forefront leading the African National Congress. Have they never heard of Minister Naledi Pandor? Have they never heard of Chief Mandla Mandela? Have they never heard of MEC Tasneem Motara? Have they never heard of Ambassador Mohammed Dengo or MPL Fasia Hassan or Member of Parliament Yunus Kerem or the Minister Ibrahim Patel? It looks like they never heard of all these people, or they don't recognize them as Muslims. On behalf of the South African Friends of Palestine, on behalf of the community of Ward 61, on behalf of every peace-loving citizen of South Africa and the globe, I say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Minister Pandor and the colleagues in her cabinet. Viva Minister Pandor, viva!